Hey guys, welcome back to another Do Not Listen to This podcast production. Today I'm here with a student going by the moniker of Average Joe, who is going to bring you Average Joe's game review.
Hey guys, Average Joe here. So, today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 dropped on November 17th, 2017. It's an action shooter video game set in the Star Wars universe. The campaign takes place throughout the timeline after the Death Star blows up.
So when you first loaded it up on your Xbox, what were your thoughts?
Well, as soon as I loaded up the game, I saw how amazing the graphics were. The Frostbite engine is amazing, and between all the leaves fluttering, trees swaying, and when you roll, dirt or sand or even snow gets on you. And even from just walking, your boots get covered in the soil. But with positives come some negatives. My first impressions of the loot box system were disappointing to say the least. I opened up my first loot box and got nothing but commons. I thought it was just bad luck. But after playing the game a bit, the more I realized that that's the thing you're going to get 70% of the time, with an occasional uncommon. I'm level 25 and I've gotten one rare out of all my loot boxes, which is insanely low, considering I've probably purchased like over 50.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty ultra rare.
Yeah, it should definitely be a lot better for how rare it seems to be.
So what are the things you're finding in the loot boxes?
Well, what you find in the loot boxes is mainly the progression system. The progression system is a microtransaction-based, kind of like a free-to-play game type thing, like progress faster if you purchase it. So, when you open up the loot boxes, you find cards for the characters, which are like better abilities. There's 4 tiers. There's common, which is white, uncommon, which is green, rare, which is blue, and purple you can't even get out of loot boxes, and that's the final tier, which gives you the best stuff.
How do you get those?
You have to get crafting parts from the loot boxes. You can get 60 through 30, I believe. And you have to, it's 40 to craft a white card, 80 to upgrade it to green, 120 to upgrade it to blue, and 480 to get it from blue to purple.
Wow. That's quite the expansion jump there.
It is. It goes from 40, 80, 120, increasing by 40 each time, and then it just jumps to 480, which is a pretty random number.
So what do you think of the gameplay overall?
Okay, so the gameplay itself, along with the heroes and vehicles, is amazing. You can get really immersed in the game itself as well as the campaign. Now, I'm not going to spoil any of the campaign in this review, but I don't really like the story. I don't like what they did. It was falsely advertised. They didn't really do what they said they did. And I found it impossible to be stealthy in some of the missions. There was a mission where you needed to walk through a tight corridor without getting detected. And there's enemies surrounding the corridor. I really like the heroes in the game, but I feel like the Jedi are underpowered in the Heroes vs. Villains mode. Now, I don't really enjoy the Starfighter Assault mode as much as Heroes vs. Villains, and the other mode, Galactic Assault. But the graphics are amazing between the explosions and the debris and the planets that you fight over. Not to mention how none of the ships feel more overpowered than another. It's just, it makes it flow so smooth, and you really feel like you're flying the ships, and that you were in a space battle. I also wanted to talk about the sounds. The sounds are amazing between the lightsabers turning on and swinging and clashing, and the blasters to the vehicles. It really feels like you're in the Star Wars universe.
That's awesome. What kind of a sound system do you have when you're playing it?
I use the volume through my headset. This is a recent development because some of my headsets weren't able to do this recently, so this is a new development, and this is kind of the first game I've used that with, but
it seems to be working well.
Yeah, because you can. This is kind of a new thing for me, because I use like the standard Xbox headsets, which only have one earphone, so you can't really do this. So I have to rely on my TV, and I can't have it too loud or too quiet. I want to have it like just right, so I have it adjusted like perfectly on my headset. It sounds so good, and it really sounds like you're in a TIE fighter. You're in an X-wing.
So I've never played Battlefront 2. I played Battlefront 1 once at a friend's house. When you're playing it, are you playing just on the game locally, or are you playing it on Xbox Live?
You play it on Xbox
like people
Live.
Playing in the campaigns and stuff that you're playing in, like an MMO type style, or what is that?
You can play it on Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, and just online on computer. I'm not a big computer guy, so I don't know how that really works. But you can play it online, and there's an arcade mode and the campaign, which are both offline modes.
And that's what you've been playing more?
I have been playing more on the multiplayer. I played a little bit of arcade to get good with some of the characters and heroes, test out abilities and stuff. But something I noticed is the arcade is really underwhelming. They could have done so much more with it. Like, if you look back at Star Wars Battlefront 2005, it had more maps than this game. Unfortunately, it had 24 versus this game's like, 18 or something? 18, 14? And in the space battles, this is why I don't really like the space battles in this game, because I'm comparing it to what I played in 2005. What I played in 2005 was you could get in vehicles with other characters and heroes. There were no heroes in the Starfighter Assault. What am I saying? And you could get in it with enemies, and you could, like, fly around taking stuff out from the outside, actually going in third person, flying a missile around, and you could go into the enemy base and destroy it from the inside. Nice. You could access the actual turrets on the ship through a main control area.
And you're not able to do that in Battlefront?
You fly around and destroy other ships. It's not the same thing. If Pandemic could get it right in 2005, EA can get it right in 2006 or 2017, almost 2018. Not to mention that this game came out in 2005 on the PlayStation 2.
Wow. So what are some fun things that you've been finding in the game? Like, have there been any Easter eggs hidden that you found, or like weird glitches in the game?
So far, I found one nod to the actual canon. Well, two. So the main character you play as in the story, Iden Versio, she's a Special Forces Imperial soldier. She looks a lot like one of the TIE fighters from the original Star Wars movie where they blow up the first Death Star. And they're going through, like, the trenches. She looks a lot like one of the fighter pilots, and people are speculating maybe that was Iden. Maybe that's where this story came from. Because it was its own unique Star Wars story. And then another one is in a mission where you get to play as Luke Skywalker. Sorry, that's like a minor spoiler. But
spoiler alert.
Yeah. And you get to play as Luke, and you go around killing stormtroopers. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the mission, but when you get to the end, he finds this compass, and there's proof in the canon in, like, the 7th movie and the upcoming 8th movie coming out soon, coming to a theater near you. He has this compass that I think led him to what he made was the Jedi Temple, or it led him to something. He found, like, this weird metal, like, blue trinket, and people are saying it's a compass.
Interesting.
I don't know, because I didn't dive too far into it, because when all the videos were coming out, I hadn't had the game, and I was trying to avoid spoilers, because some people pre-ordered the deluxe edition and got it, like, 3 days early, and you got special cards for certain heroes. Like, you got the purple tier cards for certain heroes. You got 2 for Rey, 2 for Kylo, 1 for Rey's ship, 1 for Kylo's ship. And if you pre-ordered the deluxe edition, you got a purple card for everyone in the infantry: assault, officer, heavy, and specialist.
Oh, man.
And you also got another purple card for Yoda. You got a whole bunch of purple cards that put you way ahead of the game.
So what have you found for, like, the glitches and stuff in the game?
So for the glitches I've encountered are only in Galactic Assault. Well, not only Galactic Assault. There's one that I know of. There's 2 that I know of in Heroes vs. Villains, and I'll go over those. But first we're going to do Galactic Assault. So Galactic Assault in the multiplayer is a bunch of different battle scenarios, from the Clone Wars to the First Order. All throughout there. You can play on Endor, Yavin 4, Naboo. Not Coruscant, unfortunately. Camino, Hoth, and a lot of everybody's favorite battles.
Awesome.
And if you play on the clones on any of the maps where you have to escort the droid MTT, on Kashyyyk, you have to escort them, and on Naboo, you have to escort them. And if you get into an LAAT, then when you're flying around, Occasionally, it'll just kick you out, drop you outside the map, or drop you to your death.
Oh, no.
Take the battle points you earn, which is the in-match currency that you get for getting kills, playing the objective, and damaging other players, etc. So it takes your 400 away, which is a minuscule amount. Considering the heroes cost 8,000 if they're out of gen, and 6,000 if they're in gen, which I should explain. If they're in gen, that means somebody like Chewbacca cost 6,000 in the Rebels era, Clone Wars, and First Order, because he's still alive throughout all those movies.
Because that's when he actually fits in the storyline.
Yes, but if you try to play as Luke Skywalker in the Clone Wars, he's going to cost you 8,000, or same with Kylo Ren. But if you try to play as Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, it's 6,000, and then for the rest of the modes, it's 8,000. Because he's not in that generation.
Okay.
Another glitch, again, is with the LAAT gunship. So, when you fly it and you attack the droid MTT, for me, if you tap the right trigger, and you keep tapping it when it's vulnerable because you shot it with an ion disruptor, because I don't want to spoil a lot of the gameplay. Shoot it with an ion disruptor, it becomes vulnerable for damage. Granted, when you get in it, it tells you it has like 60,000 health, so you're not really going to be putting too much of a dent in it. But if you tap the trigger when flying over it in the LAAT, you can get like 50,000 battle points, and you can keep doing it over and over and over.
Whoa.
And if you activate one of the abilities, the primary fire never has a cooldown, so you can just keep tapping for I'd say 10 seconds, and in that time you can get 25,000 battle points. And at that point, it's not really fair to the enemy team. I mean, I use it, I'm guilty, but a lot of other players use it. Now, I enjoy this glitch because I don't normally get to play as the heroes because they're usually taken by the time I get to them. So with this, I get to play as the heroes that I never really get to play as. So when I'm playing, I usually use this glitch. Now, it's a glitch. It's going to get patched. There's no avoiding it. But on the other side, I hate to see it go. But that's the way it is with a lot of fun glitches. You don't want to see them go, but you know they have to. They weren't supposed to be there, but they got to go.
Yep. Makes sense for the betterment of the game, for it
and it's
being
not
consistent.
Really, it's not really fun for the enemy team when your entire team is playing as a hero. Yeah. Well, not your entire team, because there's 24 players and 8 heroes. Or 7 heroes on each side. There's 7 heroes, 7 villains. In case you can't do the math, that's 14 heroes.
And ultimately, you want it to be a positive experience for everyone who's playing it.
Yeah, you don't want one team to feel like they're getting absolutely destroyed because they can't get any heroes because they can't respawn.
So what do you think they could do to make the game better overall?
In terms of bettering it, I think they could add more cosmetics. Because currently the only 2 cosmetics are a skin for... Actually, there's 3. There's a skin for Rey, her Last Jedi skin, which you get for pre-ordering. Kylo Ren, Unmasked, which you get for pre-ordering. And then Han Solo, which you have to do a challenge in the arcade mode. You have to get 3 stars on every single challenge. And there's 8 challenges. You have to get 3 stars. And that's enough of a challenge in itself. But even then, all it does is give Han Solo a beard and change his jacket. It doesn't make him do anything different. He's the same exact hero, just with a beard.
Yep. And you can't get a pink Darth Vader.
No, unfortunately. They said that, they were talking about, the community was saying, we want cosmetic crates. And they said, the cosmetic crates would hurt the canon. And that's why they're not going to do them. And the lead director said, we don't need any pink Darth Vaders running around the battlefield. That's not what we want. That's not canon. Nobody was asking for that. They were asking for reasonable stuff, like Clone Wars Darth Maul with his robot legs. They were asking for, New Hope Leia, Bounty Hunter Leia, Hoth Luke. We were asking for stuff that fits the canon, like Vader's mask being damaged, where, you can see his eye and, its cuts and stuff. We wanted that. Nobody ever said we wanted a pink Darth Vader. But in spite of it, people are now saying, we want a pink Darth Vader. Give us a pink Darth Vader. Nobody had been asking for that. They did it to themselves.